What's going on, Sooner Nation? Hey, if you guys are watching this right now, you might be standing in line to vote for the presidential election, or you might be sitting on your couch waiting to watch the most important thing tonight, the college football's first release of the 12-team playoff rankings. That's what everybody's watching tonight on TV, right? Yeah, listen, I know what y'all are doing. We ain't going to get too political here, but if you guys are staying in line at the polls watching this, share with your friends in the line. 66% of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed. So just make sure you guys are subscribed. It really helps me out. And I need the help to buy diapers. Additionally, hit that like and hit the subscribe button because today we got to talk about an Oklahoma football offer that was given this past Saturday. The kid visited campus, sounded like he had a really good time. And Oklahoma fans are just, listen, they're always wanting trench players. That's what we always talk about. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And yeah, we're just going to get into it. Got to talk about Cash Jacobson. You got that right. You guys know you follow recruiting. We haven't really got to talk a whole lot of recruiting lately. But the insiders, they're revealing it. We got to talk about that here in a second. But James Jackson over at 247 did an interview with him. You can see the full story in the link. You can either go to his Twitter, find that link there, or you guys can look down in the description below. I'll put it down there as well. But he put out a brief quote talking about Cash Jacobson's visit to Norman. And he says, they were really great people and coaches. I mean, some of the best around, really. Now, the big thing about the defensive tackles recruitment is he's really just recently started to heat up on the recruiting trail. You've seen schools like outside of Oklahoma. You've seen Tulsa. They offered him on October 29th. Boise State on October 29th. USC on October 29th. San Diego State on October 16th. And this was off the heels of a decommitment from the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. And he did that soon after getting an offer from Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. So you'd imagine Cash Jacobson's recruitment is kind of starting to blow up here. And you look at the offers that he has, because I always tell you, look at the offers. He's obviously got USC, and I know people like to make fun of it. I really like their defensive line coach out there, and I like what he's done this season. I think they have a lot of work to do, but he could be the next head coach at USC, and he's a damn good recruiter from some of the recruits that I've actually talked to. You see schools like Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Those are more Power 4 schools. They're not necessarily heavy in defensive line recruits, but after Oklahoma made the offer, you started to see kind of the industry shift and really tell you, hey, we think he's going to land here. And insiders believe Oklahoma probably has just as good of a shot as anybody else. Now, I'm going to play you his film here in a second. I want to talk about Cash Jacobson's abilities on the field, but I want to run through some of these predictions real quick because I think this is important for everybody to look at to understand why Oklahoma fans should feel good about him potentially landing in this 25 class. And that's because you see a Texas Tech recruiting analyst, Ben Golan, flip his prediction. Now, he works for Rivals, but he flips his prediction from Tech over to Oklahoma. You see on 3, Josh McCuistion. He puts in his own prediction. You see Parker Thune over at Rivals. So you look at it and you say, okay, Oklahoma's maybe got the momentum here, but what could they be getting in a guy like Cash Jacobson? And this is important. This is, I think, the important thing you want to look at. As Oklahoma, you lost Kamori Moore, and I think a lot of Oklahoma fans started asking the question, well, where do we go on the defensive line in terms of recruiting after this loss? And I've got another name outside of Cash Jacobson that I'm going to talk about after the film, so stay tuned for that. But Cash Jacobson, if you guys notice, he's playing a lot of 3T, maybe even in the 4-man. I think this is the guy, he's at 280-ish right now, so if he can get over the 300 range, you could put him in as a nose tackle. But him and Trent Wilson, I think, are likely going to end up playing in a 3-technique situation. And when you watch the film, that's what you see here with Cash Jacobson. But one of the things that really stands out to me here is he's got a really good field awareness. Like that one right there, like he kind of just waited, found the hole, got back there, got in the backfield, got that tackle for a loss. But you see the strength and the ability to kind of pick himself back up after an offensive line has kind of knocked him off of his footing, right? You see him being able to recollect himself pretty quickly, and that leads into it. Like the dude's actually, for the 280-pound defensive lineman, got some speed to him. And you look at his intangibles, he's a 6'4" dude. So, you know, not a small interior defensive lineman, to say the least. But, you know, in Oklahoma at Jenks, having to go up against some of those other Tulsa schools, like, he's winning those battles. He's getting back to the quarterback, getting those QB hurries, getting those sacks. I don't have his stats. I was not able to find them, so I can't tell you exactly what his numbers are. But as you guys can see from his film, he loads up the stat sheet, and it wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like this have over 40 or 50 tackles on the season. And Cash Jacobson could be a guy that could continue to rise in the rankings. So, you know, what does this do for Oklahoma's class, right? You know, it's not going to move you in the needle like too much in terms of like a top 10 class. Like, you're going to move from 263 to 264, which, I mean, you're not going to scratch Oregon, who's at number 10 right now. But I do look at this and I say, okay, like, it gives you that second interior guy. I don't think you necessarily at that point need to go out and get a third dude, because I think there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 guys Oklahoma pursues in the portal, especially from some names that I've already heard been dropped. And you might say, well, what validity to that? We were kind of alluding to Dominic Williams last year, so if that gives you anything. But no, like, Oklahoma could go get, you know, another 2 or 3 guys like Dominic Williams in the portal this year, kind of shore up that defensive line a little bit. And then in 2026, I think that's the big year for Oklahoma on the defensive line. Now, I want to see Oklahoma get involved with Isaiah Campbell. This is the name I wanted to tell you about. I want to see them get involved here. He's a 6'4", 270-pound defensive lineman, decommitted from Clemson. I think a lot of people right now are favoring Tennessee, but man, like, if Todd Bates really wanted to get involved here, I think he could. I know he's really going to be pursuing Deuce Gerald, who I think is the big defensive lineman fish next year, but I think we need to get one this year. And Trent Wilson's definitely a good name, but Isaiah Campbell is a borderline 5-star kid. Another guy that I think could really make, you know, a name here at Oklahoma, and definitely just put Oklahoma on the map. You know, another guy that I hear from a lot that a lot of you guys like is Tavian Atkinson. I'm not sure Oklahoma is going to end up taking him. Really haven't heard a whole lot there. And then Xavier Ukponu, right? He has the offer from Oklahoma. I would think he would want to commit to Oklahoma ASAP if he was able to basically get a committable offer from Todd Bates, but it doesn't sound like he has that yet. So I'm just watching a couple names going down the final stretch for Oklahoma. Cash Jacobson, though, this is a name that I think all Oklahoma fans, you need to be paying attention to. If you like recruiting, you need to be plugged into what Todd Bates and Brent Venables are trying to do here on the defensive line, because they could be adding another 3-star defensive tackle. And that's exactly what it is, a 3-star defensive tackle to this defensive line room. And I totally forgot to make my square a little bit bigger, so I apologize for that. If you guys have made it this far into the video and you guys have not already, tell me who you're voting for. No, just kidding. Please don't do that. Jump in the comments below, join the discussion. Let me know what you think of Cash Jacobson. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.